keep your tracks between you and your light source. To increase your ability to see even more detail, keep your eye, and if you can help it, your light angle low. The best time for tracking is in the early morning when the sun is low, and, of course, sunset. Unique to the porcupine, if we're doing track identification, is these little kind of bumps all over the foot. And if you have a clear print ID, this is diagnostic of porcupine and porcupine alone. Yeah, and these claws will be thrown out far ahead, but mindful that skunks will have the same type of claw way up in front of the track on their front claws because they're doing digging. These claws, these here, are meant for climbing, right? And they'll dig too. They dig false truffles in the early spring and other roots and tubers, but mostly they're hitting the hemlocks and other trees for the cambium layer up. They walk pigeon-toed, so that's one of the track pattern methods of identifying this animal. You don't have a clear print ID. And they also have a lot of drag marks from these guys, right? Like whisk brooms on either side if you're in snow or sand, or even leaf litter. Every once in a while you'll find a quill or a guard hair, and so you want to make sure your brain patterns on finding hairs and quills and other types of sign. Scat is kind of green, deer-sized, but a little kidney bean shaped. It's got a curve to it, and it's prolific in their dens. They'll poop themselves out of their own dens. To identify species, we're looking at different features. We're looking at claw marks if they show, the toes, how many there are and how they're arranged, and the heel pad, its size, shape, and how it's arranged. We're also looking at the ridges between the toes and heel pads, called the interdigitals or just the ridges. It's where the mud would splush up between your own toes. With a cat's compression shape, that means the overall compression, it tends to be rounder or more circular than a canine compression shape. Because cats climb trees, you can see that there's an asymmetry to the shape of the cat's paw print.
So, that's a right paw?
Mm-hmm. And you can see how it's designed for climbing. It must have a grip like this. Climbing trees.
It's almost like arcing.
Yeah, exactly.
So if that was the thumb, then this could be
This asymmetry is unique to the felines. The dogs don't have it. I mean, dog tracks aren't exactly symmetrical, but they're fairly close. So that on a leading edge of a track in snow, if I were to trace the outline of this, you would get somewhat of a weird kind of C or parenthesis shape that's unique again to the felines. That leading toe edge creates this little hook. The dog track, we can make an X going straight across and straight across. Let's try that with a cat track and watch what happens. Make our X. Oops, we run into a heel pad, so we have to come out. Okay. So there's one of our X attempts. Alright. And if we do it again over here, same thing. We come in, try to make that X, hit a heel pad, and then come out. And so the only alternative then is to connect this design with a bridge. And that kind of makes an hourglass H-type pattern. Dog tracks are easy to determine. Their compression shape is more ovate or egg-shaped. If there were no features in this track, like in deep snow, you would see a more egg-shaped compression rather than a round one. Look also at how much more symmetrical a dog track is compared to a cat track. If I were to divide this in half, they almost look identical. Again, no track is completely symmetrical. We of course have nails showing, and then there's that X that we can make by tracing a line through the track on the ridges. It creates that X. Look at the heel pad in comparison to the overall size of the track compared to the cat track, which has a much more larger heel pad in comparison to the overall size of the track. In a dog, it's about a third the overall size of a track, but with the cat, heel pad is half or greater the overall size of the track. So, heel pad half or greater, and about a third. not enough to have a really good tracking guide with you, but you want to have the right tracking guide with you. So we're looking at some bird tracks here. I'm measuring the stride as well as the trail width, which is from the outer right track to the outer left track, okay? And I also want to measure the track itself. So we're going to measure the overall length of the track, right? And this goes for mammals as well as birds. We want to also figure out the track width. We'll record that in our tracking journal. Okay. From widest part to widest part. We want to know if this bird is walking, running, hopping, or skipping. Is it a zygodactyl track, like a great horned owl? Is it webbed, or is it a mesodactyl, where most of its toes are facing forward and the rear toe either faintly shows or doesn't show at all?
This is a snowshoe hare. This one is going that way, and there's another one right there that's going this way. Look how big it is to your hand. It puts its back feet in front of its front feet, and this one's hopping. These are fox tracks. Bobcats are much bigger and real cats are much smaller. Here's where the fox jumped over again, and if you look very carefully, you can see the claw marks.
Track pattern can also help in species identification. Raccoons have a unique 2x2 pattern shared in this region only by black bears. This is also referred to as pacing. While other species may exhibit this pattern before being aggressive or while bored, it is a common pattern to raccoons and bears. Alternate walkers are also known as diagonal walkers. They will alternate or diagonal walk 85 to 90% of the time. They can slow down into a stalk, and they can go into a full gallop if they need to, but this burns calories and is usually due to external stimuli. So ungulates have lower teeth only, and when they bite, they compress the plant cell structure and then pull, leaving a rough, almost serrated edge where they finally tear the vegetation.
This is where a porcupine climbed up a tree and had a little snack.
Rubs are often seasonal. There are two types, intentional or incidental. This intentional rub, done by a buck during the rut, also indicates direction of travel. Hair analysis. This looks like a human hair at first glance, but it's a little thick. It's got a little too much of a coarseness to it. Okay, so we can bend this hair into a loop, a pretty tight loop. There's that loop, okay. And this is actually a buffalo hair. Now, in order to tell the difference between a buffalo hair and a human hair, you just got to be exposed to it. There's a coarseness and more wiry property to the buffalo hair than there would be to a human hair. Deer hair is completely different. One of the diagnostic telltale signs of a deer hair is this waviness that is indicative of cervidae. I don't know if you can get buffalo hair out of here. You can see that the hair itself isn't really straight. It's got these wavy lines. It's also multiple colors. We've got a grayish tip, and it turns to kind of an off-white tan back to nearly black-gray, and then the under part of that hair is gray to white. So we have multiple colors going on. Deer hairs are hollow, so if we tried to bend these into a loop, they would kink like a straw. So red fox. With scat, generally diameter and content is more important than length, and coloration, which changes throughout the season and as diet changes. And this fox scat is pretty typical for this area of the Pine Barrens. There's a foot for comparison. Don't step in it.